Hello, gang. Hello, Tuglets. Did you know I'm an old man? I've been around the block. I've seen a couple things. I've seen purple ketchup. I've seen, that's pretty much the craziest thing I've ever seen. But today's kids, they don't know how scary it can get, or how scary words can get, because analog horror is pretty scary. The Walton Files scared the shit out of me when I was like 23, but they don't know how scary reading shit used to be on the internet. It's a little thing called CreepyPastas, and we're about to talk about them. You guys don't know the chokehold CreepyPastas had on the internet back in the day. Forget Chromebooks, we didn't have those back then. We had the big-ass computers that would sound like a fire-breathing dragon when you turned it on, and we would use our school internet browser to find creepypastas and scare the shit out of ourselves when we had some downtime. Creepypastas are weird though, because the term pasta comes from a term of like copy paste. So it was a story that you would copy and paste around, and it was creepy stories. It basically started as chain emails, actually. Like one of those things where you say like, if you don't send this to 20 people, little Susie's gonna come out of your TV screen and eat your ass or some shit like that. And you know what makes me really mad is when I see TikToks of those nowadays, and people in the comments are like, I don't claim this energy. Chris, if you could find an example of that, it'd be hard, but like, Jesus Christ, it makes me, what are you talking about? You don't claim the energy from your cell phone? But you could say creepypastas are like an evolution of folk tales, or short, spooky stories like For Sale, Baby Shoes, Never Worn. I don't know if that's not a creepy story, just a really short, sad story. But the vibe, it's trying to get the scariest you can be within a short amount of time. The creepypastas term was first found on 4chan. In retrospect, probably the best thing 4chan ever did. Isn't it crazy that the FBI ran 4chan? I think we all knew that, but like that's just crazy it was proven. My cat is wilding right now. What the f are you doing? Then you could find creepypastas on Tumblr, r/nosleep, or everyone's favorite, creepypasta.com. Like I said, the phrase is a play on copypasta. This means they're typically anonymous, endlessly reposted, and full of variations like real folklore. This adds to their spooky mystique, as well as their unreadable formatting. When you see a copypasta in an unreadable font color, you know it's gonna be good. So I'm going to read some copypastas and see how much they spook me on a scale of 1 to 10. And also, I'm going to be judging these on how able I am to guess what's gonna happen. You know what I mean? Like from the first sentence, I'm gonna take a bold guess, and if I'm correct, it gets a 0. Because copypastas have to hit you from the side. They really gotta scare you. And also, I wanna make note, like genuinely, when I was like 14, like these, I couldn't go to bed reading some of these. Like they really f***ed me up. So hopefully I'm older now, it won't have the same effect on me, but let's find out.
But first, let's do an ad!
I am a 27-year-old man who didn't think about his skin until things started getting pretty bad. I got eczema. I get almost purple rashes sometimes. I don't know what my skin wants, and frankly at this point, I'm too afraid to ask it because I feel like it's gonna flare up again. Problem is, there's a lot of terrible skincare products out there that promise to help you, but they don't warn you about the harsh-ass chemicals that they use, which will turn a homie's skin into a strawberry, both in color and texture. Luckily though, I've partnered with Geology to bring you this sponsored video. Who hooked it the frick up when it comes to personalized skincare regimen free of no chemicals that make my skin cry? Geology is a 41-time award-winning personalized skincare company recognized in Men's Health, Esquire, and Ask Men Grooming Awards. They've got over 10,000 5-star reviews, and they make sure that your needs are met and you're personally taken care of. You fill out a brief survey, and they make a simple but effective skincare routine customized just for you with ingredients that are proven to work. I was sent over this personalized skincare kit that includes their award-winning products and are personal to my needs. We got everyday face wash, sensitive formula, because once again my skin is terrible. We got tone control morning cream, SPF 15, because the sun is killing me every time I go outside. And we got some night cream because someone told me recently the bags under my eyes are not I look like a horror creature. Oh wait a second, I just found at the bottom there's an eye cream dark circle formula. So I've been using the wrong thing. I'm too stupid for the easiest products on earth. Head to geolog.ie, spells geology, /BigTug70, or scan the QR code on the screen and use code BigTug70 to get 70% off your custom skincare set. Obviously, I messed up the call to action and I'm doing this post, but whatever. Also says here you get a free gift and up to 50% off add-ons. That's enough out of future dips, Tucker. Let's go back to the other guy. Geology, skincare for those who need the most help. God, what a tagline. I should be an advertiser, man, because I'm good at those. This one is called The Reflection, or The Man in the Snow. It seems like it has 2 different names. You are home alone, and you hear on the news about the profile of a murderer who is on the loose. Okay, so you're gonna look in the window and you think you see your reflection, but it was you. It wasn't you. It was the bad guy. That's my guess. I'm already not scared. You look out the sliding glass doors to your backyard, Rich, and you notice a man standing out in the snow. He fits the profile of the murderer exactly, and he is smiling at you, okay? That's bad, I would guess. You gulp. Uh-oh. Picking up the phone to your right and dialing 911. You look back out the glass as you press the phone to your ear and notice he is much closer to you now. Advertisements. You then drop the phone in shock. Oh, that's just the word advertisements. Okay. You then drop the phone in shock. There are no footprints in the snow. It's his reflection. Oh, he's inside the house. Okay, that wouldn't work. That wouldn't work. That's bad. That's a bad creepypasta. That didn't scare me at all. Okay, hold on. Creepypastas scare me when they're paranormal in the sense of like, Greg the Killer or whatever, like things from the internet coming in to kill me. If I look at an image too much, it'll make me go crazy. Stuff like that. This one, it's just like an old wives' tale. And it's not even a good one. And you're telling me your apartment is a giant cinder block, unfurnished, like you saw nothing else in the reflection except for this man? How deep is your, I'm assuming apartment, probably house. How deep is your house? How far back could he be standing? Is he pressing up against a wall? Anyway, you died. 3 out of 10, not good. All right, this one is called Candy. Just Candy. Let's see how this goes. Mom, said the little girl, rubbing her eyes and standing in the doorway to her mother's room. The Easter Bunny is eating my candy, she said. Okay, I don't know where this one's going. Obviously, the Easter Bunny's not going to be the Easter Bunny. It's probably going to be, murderer? I can't say it again. Chris, bleep both of those. Nonsense, baby, the woman replied. The Easter Bunny gives out candy. He doesn't eat it. Way to handle that one, Mom. The woman lightly shook her covers and continued to speak, halfway into her pillow and halfway to her daughter. Go back to sleep, baby. But Mom, the girl said, the Easter Bunny is eating candy. She now spoke in a more serious tone, almost as if she was going to cry. Okay. I understand where the mom's coming from. I guess kids just will spout nonsense at you all the time. Like, Jesus Christ. Holy I don't care. You obviously dreamt what you're talking about right now. Like, I know you're too stupid to realize dreams aren't real, but go back to bed. Oh my God, I have work in the morning. Her mother sat up and opened her arms. Baby, I just told you, the Easter Bunny doesn't eat candy. He hands it out to little children. Besides, it's not even Easter yet. Go back to sleep, she said in her kindest voice. Okay, well that's a red flag. Why does she have candy? Children shouldn't just have candy all the time, especially late at night. Why is she keeping an eye on the candy? I have a lot of questions. Okay, Mom, the child sighed and turned to walk out of the room. Why did the mom sit up and open her arms? For a hug? The woman smiled. Crazy kid with her lively imagination, she thought, and went back to sleep on a whim. Out in the hallway, the little girl stood for a while, staring at the Easter Bunny eating her candy. She then sighed. Mommy said I should go back to bed. The Easter Bunny smiled. Okay, I guess the Easter Bunny's real. All right. All right, guess I'm wrong about that one. Easter Bunny smiled. Good idea, child. Turn around and don't look back. He flicked a shiny metal pendant at her. She picked it up and cried as she saw what it was. A dog-tagged, inscribed candy. That sucked. Okay. So there's I guess a lot of horror is not understanding what's going on. The unknown is most scary, but so the Easter Bunny's real. That's fact. Okay. The Easter Bunny is real and he eats dogs. So okay, the mom sucks in this. Do you have candy laying around the house and you also have a dog named Candy? Like, I feel like the girl should have done better explaining what was going on there. I mean, the Easter Bunny's eating candy. Like, say the dog's dying. I don't know. That would be loud, too. The dog would be... I don't know. Okay, whatever. This sucked, too. 2 out of 10. This one was a long waste of my time. Jesus Christ. What else we got here? Come on. Eyeless Jack. All right, this one, okay. This one seems like it's gonna be good. Hello, my name is Mitch. Love it. I love a good first-person account. I find those way more interesting. I'm here to tell you guys about an experience I had. I don't know if it was paranormal or whatever stupid words people use to describe supernatural phenomena, but after that thing visited me, I believe in the paranormal trash now. A week after I moved in with my brother Edwin, after my house was foreclosed, I finished unpacking. Damn, dude. Damn, your house was foreclosed? You can't catch a break. Mitch, damn. Edwin liked the idea of me moving in, since we had not seen each other for 10 years, so I was excited too. I soon fell asleep after I moved in. After that first week, I heard rustling noises coming from outside at about 1 in the morning. I thought it was a raccoon, so I ignored it and tried to fall asleep. The next morning, I told Edwin about it, and he agreed. This is... Okay, I have to guess what's gonna happen. Something rustling outside. It's gonna be paranormal. And Eyeless Jack is the title. So do without eyes is going through their trash, like a raccoon. Raccoon men eating their trash, no eyes. The next night, however, I thought I heard my window opening and a loud thump as if something was entering my room. I darted up and looked around, but I saw nothing. Okay, maybe go check the window? This is my impression of Mitch. Well, nothing's immediately wrong. Back to bed. I'm a dipshit. The next morning, Edwin dropped his coffee cup when he saw me. He held up a nearby mirror and I saw myself. I had a large gash on my left cheek. Can you sleep through something like that? I don't know, Mitch. You might have a drug problem. It seems like, Mitch, you have an addiction problem. Seems like you have a substance abuse problem. And I understand that's embarrassing, and I understand you don't want to talk about it, but you should get help because you shouldn't be sleeping through getting sliced in the face. At the very least, you're taking too much ZQuil. After I was rushed to the hospital, my doctor told me that I must have been sleepwalking, but then he showed me something that made my blood turn cold. Here we go, something real spooky. He lifted up my shirt to reveal a sewn-up incision where my kidneys were. You lost your kidneys in the middle of the night, and the doctor didn't... They do vital tests on you. You'd be yellow. I stared into his eyes, mine widening. You somehow lost your left kidney last night. My doctor told me. We don't know how, though. Sorry, Mitch. Oopsie daisy. Don't call the cops. It's fine. This happens all the time. You just, kidney gnome got it. You gotta watch out for those. Gotta lock your doors. The next night was my breaking point. Around midnight, I woke up to see a truly horrifying sight. I was staring face to face with a creature with a black hoodie and dark blue mask with no nose or mouth staring down at me. Is that a creature? It's wearing a hoodie. I don't think that's a creature. That's a person. And why are you going back to? You should be in the hospital. You lost a kidney. That's not a one. You gotta stay in the hospital for at least a night. I'm getting already angry. I need to get better sleep. The thing that scared me the most was it had no eyes. Well, it was wearing a mask, so how the f would you know? Just empty black sockets. The creature also had some black substance dripping from its sockets. I grabbed my camera from the nearby mantle and took a picture. Immediately after taking the shot, the creature lunged at me and tried to claw open my chest to get my lungs. I stopped it by kicking it in the face. This thing was able to, hold on, let me go over this real quick. This thing was able to sneakily, secretly take a kidney from you, but all it needs to do is get kicked in the face and you can get away from it. This thing sucks at what it does. Or I guess it's really good at what it does, but God forbid you wake up. As I ran out of my room, I grabbed my wallet. I would need the money. That's what you're thinking about right now? Yeah, to get f***ing dialysis. I ran out of my brother's house into the night. I eventually ended up in the woods near Edwin's house and tripped on a rock. I fell unconscious and woke up in the hospital. You tripped on a rock, dog, and you got knocked out? And okay, here, you're so clumsy that you chipped over a pebble and got knocked out, but you beat off Eyeless Jack with a roundhouse kick to the jaw in the dark of night with no kidney, mind you? You're full of shit. Anyway, my doctor, the same one who treated me before, entered the room. I have good news and bad news, Mitch, the doctor started. The good news is that you had minor injuries, except for the missing f***ing kidney, as stated before, and your parents are gonna pick you up. Okay, so your brother owns a house, and you haven't talked to him for 10 years. So I'm guessing at least 30 years old. Your parents are coming to pick you up. You're a f***ing loser, Mitch. Get a kidney. I sighed with relief. The bad news is that your brother had been killed by something. Sorry. Lead with that. The good news is your parents are picking you up. Bad news, your brother died. Don't even bring up the bad. Someone's gonna pick you up, dog. Who gives a shit about that? Your brother died. That's not a sorry oopsie daisy. This writer sucks d. My parents took me back to Edwin's house to collect my remaining belongings, which I did. Upon entering my room, I was scared but remained calm. I grabbed my camera and then stopped dead in my tracks. In the hallway leading to my room, I saw Edwin's body and something small lying next to it. So, okay, this story, the pacing is a nightmare. The dude said he checks the camera, sees something spooky. We're done talking about that. We're gonna go to the hallway next to the room. But also, why did you bring up the fact that you grabbed your wallet? What's up with that? Just a little note. Maybe it'll come back in the end. Maybe I'm being an asshole, but what the f is this story? I saw Edwin's body and something small lying next to it. I retrieved it up and entered my parents' car, but not mentioning Edwin's corpse. His body is still lying in the house the morning after? Call the cops, guy. Why are the cops not involved? I looked at the thing I had picked up and nearly vomited. I was holding my half-stolen eating kidney with some black substance on it. That's the end of the story? What was on the camera? Why did you grab your wallet? What does that have to do with anything? This was the worst creepypasta I've ever read in my f***ing life. I'm literally speechless. 0 out of 10. These are terrible. Random one, let's go. In the kitchen. It's real short, it'd be easy. A young girl is playing in her bedroom when she hears her mother call to her from the kitchen, so she runs downstairs to meet her mother. As she's running through the hallway, the door to the cupboard under the stairs open and a hand reaches out to pull her in. It's her mother. She whispers to the child, "Don't go into the kitchen." I heard it too. This is a good creepypasta. This is a famous creepypasta. This one's fantastic. Very short, gets to the point. Also, who knows which mom is correct. Very Coraline going on here. I think this definitely would have spooked me when I was a kid. 9 out of 10. Well written. Well-written short story. I really appreciate that. Way better than Mitch and his dumbass. This one's called Angel Statue. So if it's the Doctor Who related, I'll be pumped. A few years ago, I'm also yelling through these stories. I'm gonna get more creepy. A few years ago, a mother and a father decided they needed a break, so they wanted to head out for the night on the town. They called their most trusted babysitter. When the babysitter arrived, the two children were already fast asleep. So the babysitter just got to sit around and make sure everything was okay with the children. Later that night, the babysitter got bored and went to watch TV, but she couldn't watch it downstairs because they did not have cable downstairs. The parents didn't want children to be watching too much garbage. So she called them and asked them if she could watch cable in the parents' room. Of course, the parents said it was okay, but the babysitter had one final request. She asked if she could cover up the angel statue outside the bedroom window with a blanket or cloth. At the very least, close the blinds because it made her nervous. The phone line went silent for a moment, and the father who was talking to the babysitter at the time said, "Take the children and get out of the house. We call the police. We do not have an angel statue." That's an old one. It's supposed to be a clown statue. Why? Okay, hold on. The clown statue is a better version of that story because who the dresses up like an angel to kill people? How do you dress up like an angel? How do you look like a statue as an angel? You know what I'm saying? Also, it's outside. Okay, here we go. Let me go over this real quick. She is in the upstairs bedroom, and there's a statue outside the upstairs bedroom. So I guess the creepy thing is that the angel can fly. But what are you talking about thinking that's a statue if it's hovering, right? She's in the upstairs bedroom. She asked if she come to angel statue outside the bedroom window with a blanket or cloth. Or at the very least, close the blinds because it made her nervous. Why are you asking for permission to close the blinds? The thing makes you nervous, so you go outside and throw a blanket over it in the middle of the night? 0 out of 10, dude. I guess there's a reason why authors are like paid well when they make it big, because if you're not a good writer most of the time. These are terrible. These are bad. White with red. Okay, this one's a little bit longer, so hopefully it has a little bit more juice in it, a little bit more sauce. A man went to a hotel and walked up to the front desk to check in. Classic story. The woman to the desk gave him his key and told him that on the way to his room, there was a door with no number on it that was locked and no one was allowed in there. She explained that it was a storeroom and that it was all out of bounds. She reminded him of this several times before allowing him upstairs. Well, if the door's locked, you don't really got to tell anyone about it. When I enter a hotel room, the first thing I do is jiggle every doorknob in the hallway to find out what I can sneak into. Very Skyrim-esque, you know, every time I go to the inn, I'm just seeing what I can break into. F it, I got a couple lock picks. The man followed the instructions of the woman, going straight to his bedroom. However, her insistence had piqued his curiosity, which I understand. That's a dumb way to make people not look into a room, is telling them it's not worth looking into. So the next night, he walked down the hall to the door and tried the handle. Sure enough, it was locked. That's when I would stop giving a shit. He bent down and looked through the wide keyhole. Cold air passed through it, chilling his eye. What he saw was not a storeroom, but a hotel bedroom, like his. In the corner was a woman whose skin was incredibly pale. She was leaning her head against the wall, facing away from the door. The man stared in confusion for a while. Was this a celebrity? That's what I think. Every time I'm being a peeping Tom and looking through a keyhole, the first time I see a human being through that keyhole, I think, Billie Eilish, perhaps? Is it the owner's daughter? He almost knocked on the door to ask, but he decided not to. As he was still looking, the woman turned sharply. He jumped back from the keyhole, hoping she would not notice that he had been spying on her. He crept away from the door and walked to his room. The next day, he returned to the door and looked through the wide keyhole. This time, all he saw was redness. Couldn't make out anything else besides a distinct, unmoving red color. Oh, it's gonna be her eye. Her eye's gonna be completely red. I don't want to spoil it for you, but that's exactly what's gonna happen, huh? Perhaps the inhabitants of the blocked keyhole made something red. He felt embarrassed that he made the woman so uncomfortable and hoped that she had not made a complaint to the woman at the front desk. At this point, he decided to consult her for more information. She sighed and asked, "Did you look through the keyhole?" You know, I kind of led you on to that. I wouldn't be surprised if you looked through the keyhole. I kind of made you think there was like treasure back there. That's on me. I was way too pushy about not looking into that thing, so I guess I'm pretty bad at my job. The man told her he had, and she said, "Well, I might as well tell you the story of what happens in that room. A long time ago, a man murdered his wife in there. And we find that even now, whoever stays with him gets very uncomfortable. But the woman is not ordinary. She is white all over, except for her eyes, which are red." 0 out of 10, but I called it. These are not the creepypastas I remembered. I remember being real scared. These are like literally ghost stories that you'd find in those weird books from the 2000s with horrible art. Chris, if you know what I'm talking about, please put it up. These aren't creepypastas, these are ghost stories. All right, this one's called Sarah Oannon. Let's end on that one. Coffins used to be built with holes in them, attached to 6 feet of copper tubing and a bell. The tubing would allow air for victims buried under the mistaken impression that they were dead. And were people really guessing back then? All right. Harold, the Oakdale grave digger, upon hearing the bell, went to go see if it was children pretending to be spirits. Sometimes it was also the wind. Yeah, that's probably the most of the time. You got little bells hanging around in a graveyard. The wind's gonna take them a little bit. This time, it wasn't either. A voice from below begged, pleaded to be unburied. "You Sarah," I'm gonna give the guy a voice. "You Sarah Oannon?" "Yes," assured the voice. "You were born on September 17th, 1827? "Yes." "The gravestone here says you died on February 19th? "No, I'm alive. It was a mistake. Dig me up. Set me free." "Sorry about this, ma'am," Harold said, stepping on the bell to silence it and plugging up the copper tube with dirt. "But this is August. Whatever you is down there, you ain't alive no more, and you ain't coming up." That's a cool, I like that concept. That's a good idea. Okay, I like that. That's like a 8 out of 10. In terms of just like plot, I like that. That's a good short story. I'm not scared. I guess when you're an adult, ghost stories don't scare you anymore. Maybe that'll be the title of this video. Man wastes time. I would have read the more famous ones like Ben Drowned or Jeff the Killer and shit, but those are really long. I don't really have time to read all that. Maybe if you guys want me to read those, but like even those. I mean, like I like the analog horror aspect. Oh, you know what I should do? I should watch analog horror series on this channel. That'd be hot. That'd be good. But besides that, if there's any that you think actually are scary, please let me know in the comments down below. That'd be really impressive to me. New videos every other Wednesday and Saturdays. Like, comment, and subscribe. And Extra Tug, $4 a month. You should check it out. New videos every week, and then you get an extra video. And then also we post our videos on for Saturday. We post them a day earlier on Friday, and you get our names at the end of the video, as you can see here scrolling over my beautiful face. Also, there's some other things you get. It's mostly just to support me though. Check it out. It's fun. Recently, I just talked about some real up shit on that channel. We try and make it a little bit edgier because I can say things on that site that I can't say on YouTube. And I can't say a lot of things on YouTube, so it's pretty fun. All right. Maybe I should make my own creepypasta. I'll do that. Talk to you guys later.